Get all serious. Hi, everybody. I'm Deacon Dave. She's layperson Lisa.
I'm layperson Lisa.
Welcome to the Deacon Dave and layperson Lisa show. Why is your face so red?
Still laughing.
So we are on to chapter 4 into the Deep book. Lisa, show them the book in case they haven't
since we have
read
not.
it yet. Since we haven't read it yet. Okay, and this is about making a solemn commitment to God.
Yes.
So, Lisa.
So, Dan Burke recommends making a prayer of commitment to God in your own words. And he gives you a sample in the book, but I think it's more meaningful and intentional if we create our own. And he suggests to write this out like a contract.
And to make I like this, to make a sacred commitment in front of the Blessed Sacrament.
Yeah, like that's like no joke. Like that makes it like serious.
Yeah, that's like, you know, when you kneel before the bishop and you make a commitment, right, to do the Liturgy of the Hours, it's kind of like, it's a pretty serious commitment. So when you do the same thing in front of God in the Blessed Sacrament, then it makes it that. So what does the Catechism, paragraph 2410, say about promises?
That promises must be kept and contracts strictly observed to the extent that the commitments made in them are morally just. A significant part of economic and social life depends on the honoring of contracts between physical or moral persons, commercial contracts or purchase or sale, rental or labor contracts. All contracts must be agreed to and executed in good faith. It's interesting that the Catechism has like
very secular stuff in it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people are depending on what they have agreed on, and we can all see when someone lets us down in a commitment, it creates hurt and dissonance, and it can damage a relationship. And so often people will enter into verbal contracts. And a verbal contract in today's world, if it's not written, things seem to change. Well, that's not what I said, or that's not what I meant, or that's not what I intended. So like when I owned a company, we were very careful that everything was written out and that there was an understanding. There was nothing left to interpretation. And that way we both went into it and we wrote down and we agreed that this is what we're going to do over a 5-year period. And it went very smoothly. So Lisa, who is our Hebrew expert, has another word for us that she's going to hopefully phonetically say right.
Berith.
Berith. Which means?
A covenant.
Right.
And the Hebrew term does not mean binding or obligation as it traditionally is interpreted, but rather alliance.
That's very interesting.
Which is cool because, so it's an alliance with God, this contract. It's probably derived from the Babylonian preposition
Virtu.
Thank you. Between, which describes the space in between two parties who are in alliance. This latter term better captures the idea of intermediary space with all the elements of an agreement or pact, implying both sincerity and ethical obligation.
Yes, I think it's really important that, remember, we started this out talking about making a commitment to prayer, right? Making a promise to God to do this, and to do that in front of the Blessed Sacrament. And so if we're going to make this commitment, this promise, then we must do it in good faith, and we must do everything we can to achieve doing whatever we have outlined in the commitment. And that's why I think it's important for us to not make a commitment that we know we cannot keep. Lord, I'm going to spend 6 hours a day in prayer with you. Stop it, people. Okay? You can always change the agreement, right? You can update the agreement. Addendum to add time to your prayer. Okay, we're not going to say you can do an addendum to lower the time.
And I think you could say a minimum of.
Right, but then there might be times in our lives where there is just so much going on, where we're taking care of family business or family issues or a death in the family, where the Lord understands all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
The bottom line is we are making a faithful commitment to this.
Right.
So here's the question. What are your thoughts about making a covenant with God about your prayer life? I'm Deacon Dave.
I'm layperson Lisa.
See you next time.
Bye.